Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating topic that is the food situation in Djibouti. The small country in the Horn of Africa may not be on everyone's radar, but it faces some serious challenges that impact how people eat and live there. I'm here with my friend Meutia. How is it going, Mel?
Hello, Vivi. I'm excited to explore this topic. Djibouti might be geographically small, but its food security issues are vast and deeply interwoven with its political, economic, and environmental context. The country also has a unique story, but there's so much to uncover about the challenges it faces.
Yeah, totally. Let's kick things off by looking at how food is being provided in Djibouti. I think one big issue is that the country relies heavily on food imports. According to WFP or the World Food Program, there's about 90% of the food comes from outside or are being imported. And that's just not a number. It shows how vulnerable the country really is.
Exactly. This reliance makes Djibouti particularly susceptible to external shocks, like global price fluctuations or disruptions in supply chains. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Djibouti faced acute food shortages as shipping routes were disrupted. Came from the World Bank 2022. This highlights how intertwined global systems can affect local realities.
You're right. And then there's the political side of things, where the Djiboutian government has put in together national food security strategies, but somehow they still struggle with resources and coordination. If the governance isn't strong, it would definitely and eventually leads to a mismanagement and missed chances for development.
That's a critical point. The political stability Djibouti enjoys compared to its neighbors can be both a blessing and a curse. While it allows for some level of development, it can also lead to complacency. If the government doesn't actively engage with its citizens and address food insecurity, it risks losing that stability.
For sure, yeah. And the economic situation is a big part of this too. With high unemployment and poverty, even when food is available, a lot of people can still afford it. This creates a split between those who can pay to get food, while the others are less struggling.
Absolutely. The sociocultural dimension is also crucial. Traditional nomadic pastoralism, a way of life for many, is declining. This shift can lead to a loss of cultural identity and practices that have sustained communities for generations. There's a pressing need to modernize agricultural practices, but we must also be sensitive to the cultural implication of these changes.
That's such an important point, actually. Shifting to modern farming isn't just about technologies, but it's also about keeping cultural heritage alive. How do we find that balance, do you think?
It requires a multifaceted approach. Engaging local communities in the decision-making processes can help ensure that modern practices are culturally relevant and widely accepted. This kind of participatory approach can foster resilience and empower communities.
Oh yeah, I do agree with that. But you know what I also found from the environmental challenges? Djibouti's dry climate with limited land and water makes farming really tough. And climate change is just making things a lot worse, leading to a more severe droughts and floods everywhere.
Exactly. The environmental degradation we're witnessing isn't just a future concern. It's happening right now. Water scarcity affects not just agriculture, but also drinking water availability, impacting health and nutrition. This creates a vicious cycle where poor nutrition leads to health issues, further complicating the ability to work and produce food.
Okay, so by looking ahead, what do you think the food situation in Djibouti will look like in, let's say, 2040?
Well, if current trends continue, I foresee ongoing challenges. Climate change will likely lead to more extreme weather events, making water scarcity an even more critical issue. Without urgent action, we risk seeing a rise in food insecurity levels, potentially affecting a significant portion of the population.
Yes, and that is very concerning. And while Djibouti is still heavily reliant on imports, there's still hope in local initiatives. Projects like the Youth Entrepreneurship for Climate Adaptation Project are working to empower young people in sustainable farming, which I think could help produce and reduce their dependency.
Yes, but we must be cautious. Economic growth in sectors like ports and services might not translate to better food access for everyone. Inequality could widen if the benefits of growth are not distributed equitably. It's essential to create inclusive policies that ensure all segments of the population benefit from economic advancement.
Yes, absolutely. And technological advancement like climate-smart agriculture could really help improve food security. But we have to make sure these technologies are accessible to small farmers and that they get the training that they need.
That's a vital point. Effective governance will also play a crucial role in this scenario. Without strong leadership, even the best policies can fall flat. It's about creating an environment where innovation can thrive and where institutions are held accountable for their role in food security.
Yes, so to wrap it up, while food insecurity is likely to stick around in Djibouti, well, especially for vulnerable groups, there are definitely ways to improve things through smart strategies and community involvement.
Now, let's explore the similarities and differences between Djibouti and its neighbors in the Horn of Africa.
Well, from what I gathered, Djibouti faces many of the same challenges as Somalia and Ethiopia, especially with climate change and food insecurity. While the whole region is dealing with these issues, Djibouti's political stability gives it a unique chance for growth or development.
However, that stability can also lead to complacency. Neighboring countries, while facing their own challenges, often have to innovate out of necessity due to instability. Djibouti must remain proactive to avoid stagnation.
Yeah, exactly. Djibouti's location near a major shipping route opens up possibilities for investment in infrastructure and agriculture, which could help tackle food insecurity. But it's vital that these opportunities benefit everyone.
An international partnership can play a crucial role. Collaboration with organizations focused on food security, climate resilience, and technological innovation can bring in much needed expertise and resources.
But I do believe Djibouti has to take charge of these partnerships. Solutions need to be tailored to fit its specific needs because I feel like a one-size-fits-all approach just won't cut it.
Absolutely. It's about building on strengths while addressing weaknesses. If Djibouti can effectively leverage its strategic position and implement robust policies, the future could be significantly brighter.
So what do you think we can suggest to create a more food-secure future for Djibouti?
First, investing in climate-resilient agriculture is key. Promoting water-efficient irrigation, drought-resistant crops, and sustainable land management practices can make a significant differences.
Agreed. And second, I think we should diversify the economy. By reducing reliance on the port sector and starts opening up opportunities in agriculture and other areas is crucial.
Third, strengthening social safety nets is essential. Expanding social protection programs can provide a buffer for vulnerable populations during crisis.
Yes, and I believe by improving governance and coordination among stakeholders is also super important. We need to boost the capacity of government institutions to effectively tackle food insecurity.
Lastly, fostering regional cooperation can lead to shared solutions. Collaborating with neighboring countries can help tackle common challenges and promote food security across the region.
True, and I think we can have the conclusion for this.
In conclusion, Djibouti food security hinged on addressing its import dependence, promoting climate-resilient agriculture, diversifying its economy, and strengthening governance. By leveraging its strategic location and fostering regional cooperation, Djibouti can navigate its challenges and work towards a more sustainable and food-secure future.
That's it. Thank you very much for joining us today as we explore the food situation in Djibouti. We hope this discussion sheds light on the complexities of food security and could spark further curiosity about the vital topic.
Join us next time as we delve into another critical issue in international development. Until then, take care and stay curious.